Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today we're going to be doing more of a discussion style thing, because what I want to do here while just kind of accomplishing my background stuff here is I want to talk about 10, with an asterisk on 10, I'll explain why in a second, heroes and or villains, we'll use heroes as a blanket term, that I want to be added to the game. As we've seen in the show, and even in the comics, if we're talking Universa, there is an extensive roster in the world of Invincible. And I swear if we start the video by my... Okay, there we go. Took it a second there. I really had to think about it. There is quite the roster in the Invincible universe. And we saw a noteworthy chunk of it in Season 3. It expanded a little bit. So what I want to do here is I want to kind of discuss the heroes that I want to be added. Now there are a couple on my list here, and I do have a list, that are kind of cheats because it technically encompasses more than one. But as it's my video, I can do what I want. And this way we don't have, you know, half of my list here taken up by one, for lack of a better word, faction of heroes and or villains. And while we're at it, like I said, we're just going to be kind of doing some background stuff just to get her done. So, number 10 on my list here, I have the Lizard League. Now I'm going to try and put graphics on the video, depending on how much work I want to put into it. That varies on a day-by-day basis. But for number 10, I am putting the Lizard League, specifically the three that Rexplode, Duplicate, and Shrinking Ray fought in Season 2, because those two seem to be... Or I guess it was technically 3, wasn't it? Or 3... 4? No, it was 4, because it was King Lizard, Komodo Dragon, Iguana... Salamander? Was that the black and orange one? He was the one who kind of died easy. So, of them all, he's the one who died the easiest, I think. So I think I'm right on that. Again, like I said, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where I'm using the word 10 heroes a bit loosely, because I didn't want this list to be taken up by 4 Lizard League characters. However, even though they're almost set up as like a jokey faction, turns out they can actually kind of throw down when they really want to, considering the fact that they almost wiped out the, at the time, on Earth, Guardians of the Globe. So, especially Komodo Dragon, because we even see him wrecking crap in Thetus's flashback, I believe it was, yes, in Season 3. So, especially that guy is a force to be reckoned with. I know there were also a few extra ones. I think there was a Queen Lizard in the Adam Eve special, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another one too. But I mean, that right there, including the Queen Lizard I just mentioned, that's 5 characters right there. As if they could, you know, spread it out, kind of mix it in a little bit, I mean, that could really give the criminal faction a pretty healthy boost. Speaking of a healthy boost, on number 9, I have the dragon guy from Season 3, Mr. Liu? I don't know. I'm stupid. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I think I'm right on that. Basically, he's the guy with the metal jaw who can spit out a dragon spirit, I guess. So here's my thing with him. I mean, I don't really care about him as a character. I mean, he's very much meant to be just kind of a villain of the week situation. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I think would be cool is how he could interact in the game, because my thoughts are, you have him, that human, question mark, form, and then, like, the dragon could be a summon that does the fighting for him. So you can beat the dragon, but if you don't beat him, then then he'll summon the dragon back. Like, maybe even have, like, his main ability be, like, at the start of the battle and every 20 seconds, either re-summon the dragon or heal it or something like that. Basically, I'm thinking of more so, not caring so much about the character, but thinking of how they could make his character interesting in the context of the game. Some kind of a summon situation, because he himself doesn't do the fighting, but the dragon does. Something like that could be kind of cool. And I love summon characters. They haven't gotten a huge amount of love in this game, to be honest. You've got Duplicate, you've got Multipole, and then Cecil was an interesting one with the Reanimen, but at the end of the day, they are still just Reanimen. Mr. Liu could be very interesting in terms of what they could do with his gameplay. Now, number 8, I am going to put Shapesmith. Of all the characters on this list, I think he's one of the most certain ones to come out, because he's been a Guardian of the Globe since Season 2, and it would just make sense. Plus, it would probably give the GDA faction a bit of love, because if we're following suit with the Immortal and Rexplode and Duplicate, Shapesmith would probably be in the GDA faction, not Nurse Defender, which was more so the original Guardians. They need some love. That faction needs some love in a hurry, because the only one they've had is Cecil. So I think Shapesmith is an extremely logical one. Again, he's another one that could do some cool stuff with his kit. There's a lot of different ways they could go with him. 7, I'm going to put Killcannon, another criminal on this list here. Killcannon, here's the thing. I don't care much for Killcannon. He could be just a totally trash character, and I wouldn't really care. I would have said the same thing about Doc Seismic, and we see how powerful he is. Doc Seismic is just a beast, and Killcannon could be the same. Obviously, he would be a ranged criminal character. He'd be kind of like a good, just kind of a little extra character on a slow month or something, just to kind of throw it in. I am losing this fight. Like I said, criminals, man, they need some love. I really need to get my Powerplex powered up, actually. Let's say Killcannon, he's got a cool design. He's fought the characters quite a few times, particularly being antagonistic towards Adam Eve. They seem to clash quite often. So I think that would be a cool addition to the game. Now, number 6, I'm going to put Machine Head. Machine Head is so blanking funny. Oh my gosh. And they already even have character sprites for him in the game anyway. I know he doesn't really fight, per se, but then again, I mean, they put Cecil in the game. They've got humans with guns in this before. I mean, Isotope is just a teleporter with a gun. So they can just put characters with guns. And again, the thing with Machine Head is just kind of trying to be creative with possible kit ideas. He could be kind of another one who's maybe summon-based or something like that, where he can summon in specific help to do the fighting for him. Maybe even summon, like, some of the existing villains in the game. Because some of the rare character villains, criminals in the game, are not even all that bad. Not that you would ever build them in any kind of serious capacity, but maybe he could summon some. Or even, like an ability just called I've Got Money, where he just summons existing characters, and maybe even Battle Beasts if they want to get crazy. That would actually be a pretty solid summon, not gonna lie. I just think what they could do with that warrants the request of having Machine Head added to the game. Now, number 5 is going to be a new face in Season 3, Tech Jacket. Now, Tech Jacket did not get a whole lot of screen time in Season 3, but the screen time he did have showed that he basically 1v1'd a mustached Invincible, which is no small feat. The mustache means he's probably on par with other Viltrumites. I know they said that for the most part, a lot of the other Invincibles were not as strong, but I wonder if maybe that didn't apply to all of them, because a mustached Invincible means he was probably raised Viltrumite. So, yeah, I imagine that that was quite a grueling fight, and Tech Jacket took him down. Now, after that, we only got like one more view of him. I think in the last episode, once or twice, we saw him, and his design is also kind of cool, which I appreciate. There's a lot of things they could go with him. I don't know what he is, this thing. I don't know his lore. I don't know if he'd be from World Beyond. I don't know if he'd be Earth's Defender. Yeah, that one I'm actually not sure on, but honestly, you could really go either way with him, and I'd be pretty happy. Just think that would be cool. Now, these next 4 on my list are ones that I would really like to see added in some capacity. With number 4 being, and I'm hoping I pronounced his name right, being Thetus, the leader of the Coalition of Planets, aka Mr. Optimus Prime voice. Here's the thing with him, and this is probably why he's not going to be added. even though I would really like to, but there's a couple things he could be. Of course, he would be a Viltrumite, because he is. But he could also be a leader, which would kind of cheat the system and allow Conquest to have a Viltrumite leader to be in. Honestly, Thetus is not so much a pick for him, as much as a pick because Conquest would love having Thetus with him, because he would no doubt be a Viltrumite character, but then a leader as well. However, we've only seen him, like, twice, if we're being honest, in 2 episodes in Season 2. We didn't even see him at all in Season 3. So, while I am trying to cheat the system by manifesting him into existence because he could be an invincible leader right now that Conquest could work with, and logically speaking, they're probably not going to release him until he gets some more screen time in a future season. But hey, that doesn't mean I can't put him on the list here at number 4. Now, number 3, this is kind of another Lizard League situation. Number 3, I am putting the evil Invincibles from the Invincible War. Specifically, a lot of the ones that were, like, alive at the very beginning that Angstrom sent to that Wasteland dimension. The yellow and black looking one, the Mohawk Invincible, and the Omni-Man colored Invincible. Those 3 in particular were by far the most striking and seemed to be the most successful at doing a serious amount of damage. Also, perhaps, the non-mustache Mark with the Invincible outfit, who was also alive at the end. Those 4, I think, would be a great addition. The others look a little too similar to OG Invincible, the real Invincible, to really justify it. But the 4, the Omni Invincible, the Mohawk Invincible, the black and yellow Invincible, and the no mustache Viltrum outfit Invincible, I think those 4 would be some worthy additions. They'd probably be criminal characters if I were to take a guess. Which, hey, I mean, Viltrumites in the criminal faction would certainly give it some love, that's for sure. I think it would be neat. I think it would be very neat. Probably one that's definitely going to be added is the Mohawk Mark, just because of how unique that one was, and since he did actually clash with the OG main Invincible, or the black and yellow one, because that one does have a very striking design. I do like that. So like I said, I'm putting them as a whole in my third spot in the list here. Now, number 2, we are going to say General Kregg, the Viltrumite general that was shown in Season 2 for sure, and I think he was in Season 3 as well. I could be mistaken. Did he have bits, or... I don't think he did show up in Season 3, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you know, I think I'm right about that, because I know they had the 2 nobody Viltrumites that Alan, Omni-Man, and Battle Beast killed, but I don't think Kregg was actually in Season 3, if I'm not mistaken. That's a big if. Point is, that would be another good addition to the Viltrumite faction, to the From Worlds Beyond faction, and, again, really thinking about Conquest here. Being that he is the general, he could get away with a leader tag, which, like I said, I'm really Conquest focused on my requests on these, at least on a couple of them. I feel like, being that he is the general, I mean, not the leader, but that might be just enough for him to squeak by with the leader tag, maybe. Being that he is a general, he could also be like maybe a support Viltrumite. Maybe not necessarily, you know, doing the most damage of the team, maybe save that for Thula or Anissa, but he could be a support character to give some buffs to Viltrumites. That's just kind of my thoughts. Like I said, I don't know if they'd give him the leader tag. I feel like he will be added sooner or later. But would they give him the leader tag? I don't know, because he would work so well with Conquest if he did. I'm certain of it. But we shall see. Now, before we get to number 1, I do have a couple honorable mentions. One that's not really a new character so much as a rework, and the other is a character that I just came up in my mind's eye and will probably never exist. The first one I'm going to say, buff all the rare characters. The first honorable mention I'm going to get is give all the rare characters in the game, Duplicate, Rexplode, Kid Omni-Man, the criminals, etc., etc., a buff. Give them a 4th skill. Maybe crank up their stats a little bit. Because some of them are borderline usable. Rexplode actually does have a degree of success depending on how you use him. Flaxen Leader is one small step away from a must build for the sake of GDA ops. And I really like Duplicate. I just wish her duplicates did more than just take aggro for a couple seconds. I really think that this game would benefit from giving the rare characters some love. Give them a 4th skill. Crank up their stats a little bit. It could be good. I mean, I know they're more so meant to be the fodder characters, but like in other games like AFK Arena, the fodder characters have a cap. In this game, the quote-unquote fodder characters don't actually have a cap. They can become just as high rarity as anybody else, which I do appreciate, by the way. I like that a lot. I just wish that it wasn't just such a resource hole investing in what is, unfortunately, an inferior character to get a rare character powered up. Give them a little love. Give them a 4th skill. I think they deserve it. That's just me. And finally, the second honorable mention is one that I don't think has any kind of origin or anything in comics, not in the show, not nothing. This is very much just an original idea that I came up with in my brain. But hear me out here. Debbie, aka Invincible's mom, but flipped with Omni-Man, an alternate reality version where Debbie was the Viltrumite, like even call it like Omni-Woman or something, I don't know. And Nolan was the Earthling that she would meet. Like I said, I don't think there's a basis for that in any of the comics or anything. I think I would know if there was. But I just think that'd be cool, because let's not forget that Debbie is like one of the best characters in the game. But being that she is, you know, human and not a combatant, there's no good reason for her to be added to the game. That's just a simple fact of the matter. But hey, you know, in a world of multiverses, something, whatever Markiplier said about, you know, impossible waiting its turn or something like that. The point is, multiverses are a thing, which means there is technically any kind of situation possible, even perhaps a role reversal of Debbie and Nolan. I'm just saying. That could be a cool original idea to spice up the game a little bit. Would they do it? Probably not. I don't know if they would need, like, approval for that, since that would be, like, an arguably completely unique character. Like I said, I know that's probably not possible, but hey, a boy can dream, and it's fun to think about what ifs, so sue me. So that's my honorable mentions, and then number one, the character that I 150% believe needs to be added to the game is Donald. Homeboy's a hero. Homeboy is incredible, and there's a lot of stuff they could do with him too, because, I mean, of course, his main combat, like, when he's on the field, he'd probably be like a ranged character with a gun or something. I mean, that just makes sense. But the fact that he is a cyborg could lend itself to quite a lot of possibilities. Might be able to make him occasionally go melee with some characters. One thought I might have even had, or the one thought I even had, is if you do put him down, as long as some of his other teammates are alive, maybe he can resurrect, maybe he can come back to life, something like that. Because that is kind of his thing, where he comes back and just keeps going. I think that they could do a lot. Also, Donald is arguably one of the best characters in the show. A real sleeper character that you'd never expect, because he looks almost plain, for lack of a better word, and yet he has some of the best character in the entire show. Season 3 didn't have quite as much Donald this time around, because everything happened kind of more so outside of Cecil's operation, aside from the fighting and stuff. But, I mean, we even got to see Donald, and he went to fight some Invincibles, even though he was half tore up and his robotics were all showing. He did go and fight, and I think that is more than enough justification for my boy to be added to the game. So that is my list of 10, with an asterisk, characters I want to be added to the game. This list is far from definitive, but keeping in mind that they only tend to release one character like a week, or whoa, wow, that would be a fast pace. One character a month. I mean, this list could keep them busy till the next season, basically. I mean, yeah, I just listed over 10 characters. They release one a month. Boom, the game's covered for the next year. It's a plus and minus when this game does have a slower release time. It's unfortunate because, of course, I love seeing new characters in this game, and I wish they could come out more quickly. But I also know that they do want to give each character a little bit of time to bake, so I get that. Regardless, this list I feel like is pretty good. A few ones that I do think are basically guaranteed to come eventually. A few that are kind of like some hopes, but might not be for a while, and then a few that are really some long shots. But hey, you never know. You might be surprised. These games live or die on how creative they can be with the content they offer to players. So hey, the more wild and wacky with it, the better, in my opinion. But that is all we have for today. Let me know down in the comments below what characters you want to be added to the game. Maybe you've got a few ideas that I haven't thought of. Who knows? Like I said, we're also kind of trying to keep it with Season 3 and before. So, you know, operate as such. I mean, I guess if you want to list some characters from the comics in the future, sure, but I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I think Universal is kind of a one and done. But hey, get creative. I'm open to anything. You've heard some of my lists here, and I'm telling you, man, Viltrumite Debbie variant Omni-Woman, I think that'd be kind of sick, not gonna lie. But that's just me. So yeah, we shall see you next time. Have a good one.